Super Mario Bros. Movie has tons of iconic locations spread all the way throughout the movie, and we're getting even more as more trailers appear to leak online, and we just got shown the Sand Kingdom of Tostarena, which is from Super Mario Odyssey, and also Bob-omb Battlefield from Mario 64, and there's a whole slew of other scenes that could be referencing other games, but we've already talked about those. What I want to talk about now is what other kingdoms or areas throughout the Mario franchise could be shown here within this movie. Now, of course, Nintendo's not going to want to show every single location from every single past Mario game. That would never warrant a sequel or another movie within this franchise. So, of course, everything on this list is just what could possibly be here and what would be really cool. I didn't add every single world ever, just worlds that would work really good in a movie setting. So today I have 38 different worlds and areas from past Mario games that would be awesome to see referenced or appear for a short period of time within the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So if you're excited for this video, stop what you're doing real quick, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things the Mario Bros. Movie and all things Nintendo in general. Now let's jump into our list of 38 cool locations that could appear in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. One enemy that we know we are getting is Shy Guys, and I believe they actually originate from Subcon, which is Super Mario Bros. 2. So the question is, could we see Subcon appear in this movie? Now we know that this whole world is a dream world, and I think this would also be a really cool world to work with in a Mario sequel or spin-off, so I don't really see this actually appearing in the movie, but it would be really cool to get like a hint of it. Maybe there's a small scene where Mario's actually dreaming and he's in this world for a little bit, and it's just a small part of the movie that eventually ties into a bigger sequel. Now we do see a desert area on the map, which might be its own separate kingdom, but we also got to see Tostarena for a second. So the question is, are any of these going to tie into potentially Sarasaland? I mean, we also would really love to see Daisy, and we've seen some hints that Daisy could appear with stickers and different emblems around Toad Town. So potentially we could see Princess Daisy in the head of her own kingdom in Sarasaland. I would love to see that and just kind of reference such an old game finally giving it color and giving it a new life, since we haven't seen it in so long, and maybe even seeing it return in future Mario games would be awesome. And just seeing Peach and Daisy hang out together like best friends would be a really cool tie-in for this movie. For Mario Bros. 3, I actually have 2 locations within the Mushroom Kingdom that could be really cool. We could have Giant Land where everything's just huge, and I think that would be really cool to see Mario just go through everything that's just gigantic. Giant blocks, enemies, everything. Just maybe it's like a portal where you step into this world and everything just grows on Mario, which would be really cool to see because I love that world in the actual game. And then we could even have Bowser's airships where Mario has to go throughout the airship and take them down in order to reach Bowser. Now I think they should probably actually save the airships for when Bowser's Koopalings come along, because that could be really cool. Maybe he has to go to different airships and take them all down, like also the new Super Mario Bros. Games. But the airships definitely had a cool vibe while Mario was up there in the sky, and I could definitely see them making some type of cameo. At least maybe Bowser has one of them ready to go in his fleet armada. Dinosaur Island from Super Mario World would be cool to kind of go by and visit. It is a small island that's probably beside the Mushroom Kingdom somewhere, and what's so cool about this is this could be maybe where Yoshi's from. Yoshi has a weird one because you have Yoshi's Island and also Dinosaur Island, so I don't know how they're going to kind of tell Yoshi's story. It looks like they're going to choose Yoshi's Island from the in-movie footage we've seen so far, but maybe they could throw in this too. Maybe Yoshi has some family members or something that they want to tie in to maybe a future sequel or something, but I would love to see this teased in some way or another. Alright, now hang on a little bit, because for the next 5 areas we have Mario 64 stages, because Bob-omb Battlefield made me so excited I wanted to see these as well, because it's safe to say that all these are around the Mushroom Kingdom somewhere, so they could pop up one way or another. First, we have Whomp's Fortress. It's just an iconic stage, just like Bob-omb Battlefield. There's no real reason why I want to see this, and maybe it's just an extension of Peach's actual castle. That would work. You could also have Big Boo's Hut, just one big, creepy, like, giant mansion. Yeah, I'm going somewhere else with this later, so this probably won't be the mansion that they use, but they could have some type of creepy old abandoned house that they have Mario go help with or something. I don't know. They could go underground for the Hazy Maze Cave and maybe even find Dory down there, and they could say hi. I don't know. And then Tick-Tock Clock, maybe some type of factory or something would be really cool to go into. Maybe it's tied into the Mushroom Kingdom. Maybe it's a factory within Bowser's Castle. I would love to just see something factory related, or like a Bob-omb factory, or where maybe Bowser builds his army or something like that. And then maybe like a separate sky area or sky kingdom with Rainbow Ride would be really cool, and they could actually flesh it out this time instead of just having that giant random castle or mansion floating in the sky that you go through on the carpet. Maybe it's like tied into an actual kingdom, the Cloud Kingdom, the Sky Kingdom, kind of like what they tried to do with Mario Odyssey, but it ended up just being an area for a boss fight, so actually maybe extending it could be pretty cool. Mario Sunshine needs to be referenced one way or another. I mean, if they're planning on making a whole movie based around Isle Delfino, then great, but at least tease it in like a post-credit scene or something. Give us something Mario Sunshine related. But if they do, it's gotta be Isle Delfino. It just makes sense to see the entire island with the Piantas and the Nokis, all the shop merchants and everything would be really cool. Peanut Park would be phenomenal because it's a giant amusement park and we really have never seen something like this within the Mario series. Maybe having them go there to play for like a little scene where they're riding roller coasters and stuff would be really cool. Noki Bay and Pianta Village, I think both should be in here because Noki Bay is kind of the home of the Nokis. We get to see a watery area. Hopefully Ely Mouth isn't there. And then Pianta Village is where all the Piantas also live up on that giant tree. It feels more like the home than Bianco Hills. And actually, I just feel like Pianta Village is kind of the home of this place. It's kind of like the refuge where everybody can go if things get a little too bad, even though it got worse up there for them. But, you know, it would be really cool to see both of these locations and really all these locations for Super Mario Sunshine. I really am holding out for maybe a spin-off movie for this entire game, but who knows at this point. I got 5 more in a row here for you, and they're all from Super Mario Galaxy. One being the Comet Observatory. I think Rosalina could definitely make an appearance. We already seen like that leaked picture of a Luma, or I think it was actually a toy for a Happy Meal or something of a Luma, but the Comet Observatory is where this all began for Mario Galaxy, so I think that needs to be there, and I think it actually very well could make an appearance in some way or another. Somehow they find their way in space and they get to land at the Comet Observatory, see Rosalina for a second, and maybe just give her a cameo before actually giving information on maybe a future Mario Galaxy movie. They could have the Good A Galaxy if they decide to actually go into space and hit any of these galaxies because it's just where the adventure all started. Honey Hive Galaxy would work really good too because it's just like where you see all the bees and the Honey Queen, and it's just also one of those areas that kind of just reminds you of Mario Galaxy. Gusty Garden is the galaxy for Mario Galaxy that everyone remembers because of the music and everything, and if we can get an excuse to have a new kind of rearrangement of that theme just to have it in the movie, I mean, I would take it. Toy Time Galaxy would be my final one because it's a galaxy full of toys. How cool is that? It's freaking amazing, and you get that giant Mecha Bowser that you get to climb up. I would love to see that kind of referenced, or maybe it's like Mario's birthday sometime in the movie and then they go to that galaxy. I know it's a stretch, but come on, we've seen crazier things, and it would be so cool to see Mario visit some of these areas without obviously having its own movie yet, because I definitely see them eventually going to a Mario Sunshine or Mario Galaxy movies. It's just kind of for cameo purposes within this movie. Next, I have some choices for Mario 3D Land / 3D World, and yep, the Sprixie Kingdom is included here, so maybe we can actually see different parts of the Sprixie Kingdom in a way. But of course, I want to start off with the beach area from Mario 3D Land. I think we've already seen a piece of this in a trailer already. I just thought I'd bring it up again. Any type of beach area in 3D Land or even 3D World would be really cool to see with tons of Cheep and animal life. So I think having underwater sections would be perfect, and I think these games really represent those beach areas well. I know there's one in Mario Odyssey as well, so I just kind of threw it in the 3D Land and 3D World section. So if Mario does go through a clear pipe and end up in a Sprixie Kingdom by accident for a little bit, it'd be cool if they showed off some of these areas within Mario 3D World. You have Super Bell Hill, which is kind of the very first area you get to when you arrive at the Sprixie Kingdom, just really tall hills with all the cat power-ups. We see the cat power-up is actually in this movie within the Donkey Kong world, so it'd be cool to kind of show like a world full of these power-ups. And speaking of power-ups, I would love to see the Double Cherry be in here, so having Double Cherry Pass would be really funny. Like maybe Luigi or somebody, you know, arrives here on accident, maybe Toad, and picks up one of these Double Cherries and just starts duplicating themselves, and they're like, where did you come from? And just a whole bunch of them start popping up, and there's like 50 on the screen at once would be super funny. I mean, this is the same people that made the Minions, like thousands of these Minion characters all over the stage, so I feel like this would be perfect for them. Just having tons of Mario characters just all over the place as they go throughout this field of like double cherries and they don't even know what's going on would be super funny. They could easily do a reference to one of the circus areas within this game where maybe like a pop-up circus happens and the bros find themselves stuck there, or something happens and they have to make their way out by hitting switches and stuff, and Bowser's army also infiltrated it and like they're trying to kill them or capture them, really. I don't know what Bowser's plan is here. While they're trying to get throughout this circus would be really cool. I just love the whole aesthetic of the circus theme, and I want to see more stuff like this within the Mario games. So I think this would be really cool to see within the movie. I would also love to see something like Hands-on Hall from Mario 3D World, which is like this really cool Japanese-inspired castle, which would be awesome to see in the movie. Imagine all the spikes throwing the spike logs and maybe having the ninjas pop out, where they could take everything that they did in 3D World and just up it by like 50, because this could be a really cool segment where they're like acting like ninjas trying to get throughout this castle and make their way out, and Bowser trapped them in here or something. I would love to see that make an appearance. Another cool one would be, what if they made a little cameo to Lake Labcat from Bowser's Fury? Maybe it's just a lake that's outside of the Mushroom Kingdom somewhere, because we actually don't know where this world actually lies. We know Bowser Jr. brought Mario here. I don't know if this is a small separate world that Bowser Jr. created or just warped Mario to one that's already within the Mushroom Kingdom, but maybe Mario wants to learn and play around with the cat suit a little bit more, and they send him to Lake Labcat where everything's just cat themed, and they train him how to use the suit properly or something. That could be really cool. It already seems like we're getting things like the beach areas and even the rock candy mines from New Super Mario Bros., but what if we also got the jungle areas like Soda Jungle from New Super Mario Bros. U? This would be really cool to have that purple goo all in this giant deep forest with tons of trees and different enemies within the jungle. I don't think we've seen anything really jungle related so far, so this would make a lot of sense, and we once again, going back to Mario 3D World, have seen this before with different jungle attributes, maybe with the piranha plant creepers that kind of come out of the pipes and try to bite Mario. Would be awesome to see as well. I'll try not to add too many snow levels because we did see that Penguin Kingdom and it also was at night, just like what I'm about to say, but I don't know. I like New Super Mario Bros. U's Frosted Glacier. I would love to see kind of like a Northern Lights nighttime snowy world that's kind of like pretty as well. Like, it was just kind of a bad scene when the penguins got pulled up on by Bowser. I would love to see kind of a snowy night with like villages and stuff that the toads could live in and other creatures. Would be really cool. For Super Mario Odyssey, it was almost impossible to not say every single kingdom should be in this movie, but if I had to pick ones that I feel like would work the best, these are the ones I would pick. First off, the Cap Kingdom would be awesome to tie in to Cappy, eventually maybe having a Cappy and Mario team up, or at least just showing some of the Cap creatures and the Bonneteers, and eventually having them kind of cross over to a future Mario movie where maybe Cappy and Mario join up, and they once again retell maybe certain events of the Super Mario Odyssey game, which would be really cool. The Cascade Kingdom would be really cool, of course. Mario won't have a capture ability here, but maybe they could flesh out like a whole prehistoric kingdom full of dinosaurs, and maybe this is Dinosaur Island that they kind of make from Super Mario World, where this is where Yoshi's kind of familiar with as well. Would be awesome. We already talked about the forest and jungle areas in other Mario games, but what about the Wooded Kingdom, which is really a deep wooded forest full of different creatures and even a T-Rex for some reason. And you have these themed gardens overworld, which would work pretty cool because then you have that machinery and that factory setting, like I said we could have earlier, all tied into the forest. This one is a big one. We have to have some type of Metro Kingdom with New Donk City and Pauline being the mayor. How do we do this? Well, we know Pauline's in the movie already from some shots of her in Brooklyn, New York, and she seems to be the mayor of Brooklyn. Well, what if Pauline actually gets sucked into this world as well somehow, and she becomes the mayor of New Donk City? Imagine at the end, or like an end credit scene, where Pauline's messing around in some area in the back alley and falls into a sewer and ends up in the Metro Kingdom, and everybody there is kind of just like, whoa, who are you? And she becomes the new mayor there, and it ties into a future meetup between Mario and Pauline within the Metro Kingdom. And Mario's like, how did you get here and stuff? That would be really cool. Maybe that explains why Pauline, a human, is here as well, and maybe they also have different humans from the real world actually fall down there and appear here as well. That would be awesome. Please, Nintendo, that would work out great. We already talked about having different beach and water areas from past Mario games as well, but the Seaside Kingdom is just beautiful, especially with that sunset over the water. It would really make sense if Nintendo just took lots of the Odyssey kingdoms and used them for their world themes, because it seems like Odyssey is being a big inspiration with the different kingdoms and different worlds within the Mushroom Kingdom. Would be really cool. So I would love to see the Seaside Kingdom. It's just beautiful. We have the Luncheon Kingdom, where it's full of different foods and fruits and vegetables and stuff, and it's just a very weird and different art style. I would love to see Mario go there and kind of make some food. Maybe he's like really hungry, or some character's extremely starving in the movie, and then they're like, well, I know a place, and they go to the Luncheon Kingdom and just have all these different pots of stew and food all over the place. That'd be awesome. And then we have the moon, or technically the Moon Kingdom, which I don't know why it's called the kingdom. There's not really much of a civilization or anything up there, but maybe they could add one. I would love to see Mario kind of do something with the moon. I think they could tease it just by putting the moon in different shots. I know it's the moon, like how do you tease the Moon Kingdom with the moon? I don't know, something with the moon could be cool. Maybe they show a chapel up there, maybe preparing for Bowser to get ready for this wedding, or maybe we can see like a montage of him planning to build something at the end of the movie up there for a Mario Odyssey movie. I don't know. The moon though. It's the moon. Why wouldn't you want to see Mario on the moon? Then we have a couple more locations from some Mario spin-offs. We have the Bean Bean Kingdom from Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. I mean, come on. I know this is an RPG spin-off game that was originally on the Game Boy, but come on. This would be perfect. It's literally called the Bean Bean Kingdom. Have the Bean Bean, you know, residents and also the Queen and Prince Peasley. All of them would be super cool to see in some type of scene. They could definitely throw it in. I don't know how they would do it, but they could definitely make it part of the map. Make it one of the kingdoms that Bowser went to take the Power Star or whatever from that kingdom. Come on, Nintendo. Please don't miss this opportunity. I don't even think a separate movie with this game would be really great. Just have a cameo of this kingdom in some way or capacity. And then another island from a Mario & Luigi game is Pilo Island, which is definitely a weird one. I don't know how they would tie this in without making it a whole separate movie about the dream world and all that stuff. It's way too much stuff to just kind of fill this island into the movie, but it'd be cool to kind of have it like in the background as like a cameo or something where you could see different pieces of it. That would definitely work. The whole thing with Paper Mario is a weird situation. I don't know if it's technically in its own world. I think in Mario & Luigi it confirmed that Paper Mario is in its own storybook of stories, so maybe they don't want to touch this, but what if there was actually like a rogue port area, like some type of beat up port that they eventually stop at in order to, you know, stop for a second, get some drinks, get some food, and just kind of recover from their long journey. Obviously not alcoholic drinks because it's Mario, but, you know, some mushroom juice. I don't know, but I would love to see Rogueport, just kind of like some hoodlums beating each other up in alleys and stuff, just showing this nasty kind of island all by itself, and then maybe later coming back to it for a Paper Mario story or something, kind of digging deeper into this world. Then finally at number 38 we have Luigi's Mansion. I mean, come on. This has to eventually be a spin-off movie as Luigi kind of gets into this mansion trouble with Mario and has to go save his brother. Maybe there's some type of tie-in here. Maybe the mansion's already built and maybe we can see it in the background in one scene, or maybe Luigi's curious about seeing something in the background, or maybe as like a post-credit scene, Mario gets something in the mail and Luigi checks it off at the table and picks it up and it just shows a picture of the mansion. Would be phenomenal. I could definitely just see them having a mansion in the background though, just sitting in a very far back hill and you can just barely make it out and just be like, hey, is that Luigi's mansion? And then people talking about it. That would be cool. Or maybe we actually get to see it being built or something like that. Actually, it wasn't built. It was actually a very old mansion, I believe. So I don't know. Maybe there's some way that they could tie this in and maybe rearrange the story where like it gets built throughout the movie and you can see it in the background in certain scenes, and it ties into a future movie. Oh, that'd be too good. And that was 38 different locations that could appear within the Mario movie from past Mario games. Let me know if there's any important locations you think they should visit within this movie or maybe use as a cameo down below. And if I missed any, also let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things the Mario movie and Nintendo in general. Did you subscribe? Just making sure. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you on the next one. See you guys.